and welcome to the Star Wars Outlaws official gameplay walkthrough breakdown. I'm Chastity Vicencio with Ubisoft News, and I'm joined by narrative director Naveed Kavari, creative director Julian Garrity, and game director Matthias Carlson, who are going to give us more information about what we saw in the gameplay walkthrough.
Here we go. And this is our first ever introduction to Nyx.
Nyx is a Merkal, a rare and exotic creature whose home planet still remains a mystery. He's got a very curious personality, as you can see here. He can be a bit stubborn, but he has an incredibly strong bond with Kay and always follows her lead. She's grown up with Nyx for most of her life. He's not just a pet, he's family.
Good boy.
And here we have Kay. First introduction to a brand new scoundrel in this galaxy.
Kay is a young thief who's found herself on the moon of Toshara, which is a hive of underworld activity. She's picked up a high-risk job to steal a priceless, sort of mollusk-like object from a lieutenant of the Pike Syndicate. Once she's grabbed it, with the help of Nyx, she's going to turn it in and earn some much-needed credits.
So Pikes are one of the syndicates that we'll be tangling with in Star Wars Outlaws. And the Pikes here are borrowing without permission some vehicles from the Empire and the Rebels and different people and cutting them up.
Nyx. Hit that button.
Nyx is more than just a lovable and fierce companion. Nyx is a whole bag of tricks in and of himself. You saw him push that button from a distance. He can distract guards. He can attack on command. He can help you with puzzles. He can help you discover secrets as well. He is very much conceived as a symbiotic part of the player's control over Kay and Nyx. So we're really thinking of them together as a whole.
I was just leaving.
So when we meet Kay in the beginning of the game, she knows her way around the blaster. It's not necessarily her first option or primary tool to solve a problem or a situation. However, as we progress through the game and its many ever more dangerous situations, both Kay and the blaster itself will evolve and improve. And you will soon find it to be a central and very versatile tool for more than just directly taking out enemies.
Okay, we'll figure this out.
And Kay's blaster is very meaningful to her. This blaster has a lot of modules that you can discover, upgrade, and apply to the blaster that allow you to deal with situations in radically different ways.
Hey, Nyx!
So here I think we have a very good example of the type of role Nyx can play, even in something like a full-on firefight, where that enemy that we took out dropped the gun that he was just about to shoot you with. Nyx can, slink down and retrieve that weapon for you.
Let's try this out. Dink Ferric!
Sometimes best solution is just to get out of there. So ever since we kicked off this project in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, one of the things that they were passionate about, of course, is authenticity. One of the things we were passionate about is bringing something to the galaxy of Star Wars. And one of the biggest things was this moon, Toshara. And Toshara we developed working very closely with Lucasfilm. Everything from its vegetation to the wildlife to its deep, rich culture, and all of the activities that we can discover during this trailer, and even more.
These guys don't quit!
One of the key pillars for both Kay the character and for the core gameplay in general in Star Wars Outlaws is what we call a resourceful underdog. Kay is a capable and daring person. And we reflect that in gameplay with you having access to a wide range of actions and abilities, ever-growing, of course, as you play through the game, ranging from stealth to full-on firefights, so as we saw here, shooting from, driving your speeder full speed ahead under fire from enemies, We said if we can make the player think like, oh, I can't believe I made it, when they just play through something, it's a success.
Forgive me.
Kay's reputation with the Syndicates will play a big role in how she approaches her journey, whether it's the Pikes, Huts, or others. We had a saying that in the underworld, you live and die by your reputation. If a job she takes hurts a Syndicate, those opportunities aren't available. So her choices play into how she experiences her journey.
There's Jonta's Hope.
This is Jonta's Hope. Jonta's Hope is one of the settlements that we have in the game. So this is a tiny outcrop, an oasis of civilization in these windswept plains. And it usually contains a drinking hole, a cantina, and these are hubs of activity too. So we very much enjoyed developing how it would look and feel and what sort of vibe that cantina would have.
But this is just one of many settlements and cities that Kay will discover across the galaxy. And that includes the capital of Miragana, a city on Toshara filled with corruption and underworld activity.
No.
Okay.
ND5 is a BX commando built by the Separatists and battle-hardened during the Clone Wars. Nowadays, though, he serves as kind of an enforcer droid in the underworld. He's partnered with Kay as they attempt to pull off a big, high-risk job. It's the opportunity of a lifetime.
Not a friend. She can't be trusted.
Who can out here? See you back at the ship.
So various jobs and favors for the different characters and factions you encounter. They play an important role in everything from learning new things, actually unlocking equipment and abilities, to managing your precious reputation in the underworld, which is the key to some of the most lucrative opportunities out there. Important note though, something that's key to the fantasy of the free scoundrel lifestyle is that you're never in servitude of anyone. You're making your own choices, carving your own path through this world, making a name for yourself.
Job was more complicated than you said, Dunka.
You lived.
Who she works for, whether it's with Syndicates or otherwise, is crucial to creating a reputation for herself. And then how she approaches those Syndicates through those choices is going to be key to gaining bigger and better rewards, whether it's for credits or priceless artifacts.
Wait.
So nothing in the underworld is black and white, and we wanted to reflect that in the choices she makes when taking on jobs. This is one example of many. Does she just hand over what was stolen, keep a cut for herself, lie about how the job went down or the intel she learned? It's really left up to her.
In these scenes where we're going to give a choice to the player, and these choices, there is no wrong answer. There's just ways to weave your own story, ways to change, challenge, increase your reputation with certain factions and syndicates, decrease it, gain an advantage or a different perspective on the story too. So we put a lot of effort in giving the player agency over their own trajectory.
Thanks.
So the game takes place in the original trilogy era. So the Empire is at the height of its power and reach. So they're always looming there, somewhere in the background, ever watchful.
But as you can see here, we want to show a different side to the Empire and how it intersects with the underworld, and that means corruption. Particularly on Toshara, even though it's Imperial run, the local governors and officers lean into corruption and have worked out special arrangements with the Syndicates that benefit them.
So this is the wanted system, and the wanted system is something that's going to be ever present within the game. If you are caught or challenge the Empire, you're going to start to get wanted. And if you continue, you persist, and you do even more actions, that wanted level's just going to go up. At the highest levels, the Empire will throw a huge amount of resistance and forces in your way. So that's something that you can play around with, but you're best off trying to avoid as much as possible.
Very important for us in this experience is that there will always be some way for you to de-escalate or escape.
Oh, this is the Trailblazer. Now, if there's one dream that a lot of game developers have, it's to help design a spaceship for Star Wars. And this is our take on that, the Trailblazer.
The Trailblazer is an EML 850 light freighter from the Republic era, but to Kay, this is home. And if you're a scoundrel traveling throughout the galaxy, the first thing you need is a ship. And for Kay, there's none better than the Trailblazer.
So now we're in space. And, one of the things that was very precious to us is having this seamless experience of going on foot to your speeder, to your spaceship, out of the atmosphere and into space. And space is a dangerous place, but it's a place full of opportunities too. So we'll be using it for combat, both on an intimate dogfighting level, an epic level with bigger ships, but also for discovery, exploration, and special surprises.
Let's jump.
It's important to hit those classic, iconic notes of Star Wars to remind players of the era that they're playing in, and the fact that the galaxy is something that is wide, diverse, but iconic at the same time. One of the things that is important for us is that every planet that you will visit in this adventure has a distinct profile, not just a very bespoke story, but also wildlife, an ecosystem, and situations that really radically change from location to location. And space is just another part of that. So we're trying to develop distinct profiles for every single orbital region.
We knew from the start when we sat down thinking about this game that we wanted to offer that full seamless experience. Sitting in a cantina, in a city on a planet surface, jumping on your own speeder, driving to your own ship, and as we just saw, seamlessly flying into space is something that we are incredibly pleased and happy and excited that we're able to actually offer.
We really enjoyed making this, and we can't wait for you to experience a new Star Wars adventure.
Points of light glow like stars in a black sky. The view draws back, revealing the lights glittering inside a piece of a broken crystal that glows blue as it sits on a table with a pike mask, a deck of sabacc cards, and data discs. A creature's little hand reaches up and swipes an oval object with a scaly black surface off the table. Carrying the object in its mouth, the creature, the size of a small dog with 3 tendrils on each side of its gecko-like face, brings it to a young woman kneeling to the side of a doorway.
Good boy.
She pockets the object.
I want that fighter stripped for parts by tomorrow.
The woman peers through the doorway.
All right, Nyx. Let's go get paid.
She sneaks up on a guy just beyond the doorway and punches him out.
That worked.
She creeps behind stacked crates toward 2 figures on a walkway.
Because he knows how to handle the Empire.
We cannot trust those officers. They take our credits now, but what stops them from stabbing us in the back?
The young woman hides as one of the figures walks away.
Nyx.
Various options toggle on screen. Attack, distract, and press, which gets selected.
Hit that button.
The creature, Nyx, dashes to a control panel and jumps up to press a button. A pulley system starts to move, carrying a large crate across the walkway.
Nice one.
The young woman jumps on, and Nyx leaps onto her back.
Hang on tight, little buddy.
She clings to the side of the crate as it carries her over the facility, full of starship parts. She drops onto the lowest level near a thruster and stays low as she moves among the spare parts. A Rhodian points a gun at her. A subtitle reads, "Hired gun, in Huttese. What are you doing?"
Hey, I was just
Blast her! The young woman draws her own blaster, shooting down the Rhodian.
Okay, we'll figure this out.
The young woman runs up a ramp as explosions rock the lowest level. Red emergency lights flash on the next floor, where an enemy activates a shield.
Shield.
An option appears, blaster or focused, which selects. She fires, disabling the shield and knocking out the enemy. As blaster fire comes at her from multiple directions, she ducks behind a barrier before firing back.
Hey, Nyx. Catch.
She fires at something near a TIE fighter on a scaffolding platform, causing an explosion.
This is getting bad.
She She shoots onto the lower level, where 2 enemies firing at her take cover. She takes out one enemy, then shoots at the other. An option appears. Pick up.
Let's try this out.
She opens fire with a blaster rifle, causing an explosion that sends people flying.
Dick Ferrick!
Stop her!
She tosses the spent rifle and runs for an open dock. Throwing a cable onto a mechanical arm, the young woman lowers herself out of the facility with Nyx on her back.
I think that went pretty well, right?
Still under fire, she hops on a speeder bike and heads across rocky terrain until she outruns the attack. Racing over a plateau, she catches air, finding 2 pursuers up ahead.
Oh, these guys don't quit!
Maneuvering between them, the young woman pulls ahead on a dirt road.
Hang on!
On the back of her bike, Nyx looks behind them. The pursuers overtake her, then the view slows as the young woman draws her blaster. She fires on one pursuer, then the second, causing him to crash into a rock formation.
That was close.
She hugs the dirt road's curves.
ND5, I got the package. Where are you?
Waiting for you in Jaunta's Hope. Were you seen?
I said I got it. What else matters?
Should I assume we won't be working for the Pikes anytime soon?
Well, they'll probably forgive me.
Comforting.
The young woman steers around a rider going in the opposite direction as she heads toward a town.
There's Jaunta's Hope. We made it, Nyx.
She drives beneath an arched entrance with letters hanging from above. Parking her bike, she hops off and stares toward a circular building. Text appears. Jaunta's Hope, Toshara. She waits for a speeder to pass before crossing the road. Breaking into a jog, she goes by a Twi'lek woman leaning against a post. Weathered doors slide open for the young woman and Nyx to enter a dimly lit cantina, where they approach a humanoid droid wearing a long coat at the bar.
Hey, Andy.
You're late, Kay. Donka's waiting.
What? Are you worried?
No.
Okay.
A bouncer stops them. A subtitle reads, "Bouncer" in Huttese, not the droid.
What?
Be careful. Donka's a broker, not a friend. She can't be trusted.
Who can out here? See you back at the ship.
Downstairs, Kay passes through a beaded curtain into a private area where a hologram shows a fight. A Mon Calamari wearing a popped collar and layers of necklaces sits with an Imperial officer.
Round 2 and I still like my odds.
Her companion nods toward Kay as she approaches their table.
Kay Vess. Back already? I told you she's fresh, but she's good.
Who's this?
Just a friend. Join us.
Kay sets down the black object as she sits.
Job was more complicated than you said, Donka.
You lived.
Donka opens the object, revealing shifting mushroom-like plants growing inside. Nyx leans in close.
Hey, these aren't toys.
Nyx backs down, and Donka plucks one of the plants.
They're investments.
The officer holds out her gloved hand expectantly, and Donka gives her the plant, then pays Kay.
Wait. We haven't met.
Don't really know many of you.
Stealing illegal contraband, running with syndicates. I could say you're a threat to the Empire. But I won't have to if you're smart.
2 options appear: bribe or do not bribe. The latter is selected.
Thanks, but I'm smart enough to get myself out of trouble.
You pay the tax just like everyone else.
Kay draws her blaster.
Let's just relax.
The officer holds up a comlink.
You won't make it off Toshara alive.
Maybe.
Backing away from the table, Kay holsters her weapon and strides through the beaded curtain. As she arrives back upstairs, her image appears on screens throughout the establishment.
All troopers, we have reports of a fugitive in Jaunta's Hope. Move to apprehend.
Kay runs outside.
That Imperial announcement wouldn't be about you, would it?
Could be.
I told you not to trust her.
Not the first time we've outrun the Empire.
With Nyx running at her side, Kay sprints up a ramp onto a landing pad. They hurry up a ship's open ramp, and once inside, make a beeline for the cockpit, where ND5 waits in the co-pilot's seat.
We need to leave.
Yeah, no kidding.
As Kay sits in the pilot's chair, options appear over the seat, controls, and navigation computer. The ship lifts off, coasting clear of the landing pad before accelerating in an upward trajectory into the cloudy blue sky. The ship passes into a cloud, the thrusters glowing through the surrounding haze as the craft ascends. The haze clears as they leave the atmosphere. They arrive near disabled ships and floating debris. Text reads, Toshara orbit, Toshara system.
Oh, are we good?
Nothing on the sensors yet.
Suddenly, firing ships close in on them.
Anybody on the sensors now?
TIE fighters on us.
Near the wreckage of a ship, Kay fires back.
Got one.
I feel inclined to remind you that we should shake the Empire quickly.
Thanks, I'm working on it.
Kay flies through a hole in a giant piece of the disabled ship, emerging in a thick debris field. Another ship fires on them. Kay accelerates between two halves of another large piece of wreckage for cover. As her ship coasts back into the open, an enemy vessel appears out of hyperspace.
ND, get us out of here.
Installing hyperdrive.
Kay's ship barrel rolls to the side to avoid a blast.
Let's jump.
Stars stretch into streaks of light as the ship makes the jump to hyperspace. It emerges near an asteroid field above a gray planet. Akiva orbit, Akiva system.
We made it.
Text appears. Quest completed. The broker. Curving lines resembling parentheses framing the ship center on the planet. On board, Nyx leans his front legs against Kay's seat and she invites him onto her lap. He hops up and she pets him.
Hey.
She pulls one of the plants out of her pocket and eyes its bulbous purple top.
Got your new toy.
Nyx happily holds it between his teeth.
So, where do we go next?
Anywhere we want.
Nyx jumps out of her lap and Kay pushes the ship's throttle forward. Nyx leaps onto the back of the captain's seat as they weave through the asteroid field toward the planet. Seen from behind, Kay finds herself surrounded and puts up her hands, but draws her blaster as someone fires at her. She ducks into a doorway. Later, she sees people fleeing and steps out to find an AT-ST towering over her. Various views follow Kay through different environments, including a snowy street, an arid town, and an industrial facility with ND5. Now, Kay sneaks through a hangar swarming with stormtroopers. In a corridor, she shoots down a trooper, then bashes into a second. A TIE fighter chases Kay's ship out of an exploding hangar.
Star Wars Outlaws, coming 2024.
StarWarsOutlaws.com.
These are dangerous times. At least that's what I hear. The Empire? They're everywhere. But the world here belongs to the Syndicates. If I want to survive, I have to play their game.
Looks like I'm all in.
She's in here somewhere.
On second thought, I'm out.
There she is.
I've been held back my whole life. And now, I just need a chance to finally be free. Wherever that takes me.
I'm here to offer you a way out, Kay.
Get off my ship, Jalen.
Give me a chance. You're gonna have to trust me. It'll be dangerous, risky. But if you pull this off, you'll never look over your shoulder again.
The underworld shows no mercy. But it's a big galaxy out there, and I'm gonna risk it all.
Star Wars Outlaws, coming 2024.
Hi, my name is Umberly Gonzalez, and I play Kay in Star Wars Outlaws. Kay is a thief. She's a scoundrel. She's really good at sneaking around. You know, she's charming and she'll like talk to you, but she's already taking all your things. She isn't perfect at it, but she always seems to get away with it.
Kay really finds herself in a bit of a jam. You know, she's got a bounty on her back and is trying to find work. That's when she starts to really realize, I kind of like this underworld business. I kind of like this world, and she's trying to thrive on it.
She has to survive because nobody else will save her unless it's her. The only person that she has is her companion, Nyx. They're not even human, but that is the closest thing she has to feeling a part of something in the world.
I also think that Nyx, in a lot of ways, is kind of an extension of Kay, both in a gameplay sense or a story sense, you know. In gameplay, she allows Kay to do things she never thought possible. And in the story, it's also a way for Kay to kind of sense when something's off or see an opportunity or that kind of thing. Really, they're completely connected.
I love that relationship. I'm so excited for people to meet Nyx because they're gonna fall in love with him too.
Outlaws takes place right between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, so it's the civil war between the rebellion and the Empire. That has actually created this pocket of opportunity for syndicates and criminal organizations to rise up in that space. We've got the Pikes, we've got the Hutts, we've got a new syndicate that we've crafted for this game called the Ashiga Clan. And one of the phrases we always held on to was this notion of you live and die by your reputation. So it's really exciting for Kay and hopefully for players.
She's so fearless. You'll see her just go for it, and there's no stopping her, even when there's danger involved. Even when there's fear underneath it, she'll never let you see it. Not really.
For a scoundrel story, you know, you really have to ask yourself, when is enough enough? How far is Kay willing to go to land that big score? And those are questions she's going to tackle through the whole story. We worked with Lucasfilm every step of the way in crafting the story, and they were an invaluable partner in helping us create and craft this thing. They were really embracing us with open arms in terms of, hey, we want to focus on the underworld, we want to focus on an outlaw navigating through that space, but we're sort of there to help guide and point out, like, hey, here's an opportunity you might not have looked at, or there's a character you might want to consider. So really, it was a partnership through and through.
I feel like this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest franchise of our lifetime. The themes, like everything, has just been a part of our world. And for me and for the world of Star Wars, I know that people are gonna love this game, not just for how amazing the gameplay is, but like the story itself, to see a young girl become a woman and become an outlaw.
What, are you worried?
No.
Umberly's energy, her humor, her wit, all of that really has kind of helped inform the character. She has a way of jumping between that matinee action, high stakes tone to shifting to really intimate, really personal performances that make you connect to Kay.
Getting to bring my own heart and then mix it in with that confidence and her toughness and her charm and wit, it's really fun. It makes her very endearing, even though she's a very tough person.
You won't make it off Toshara alive.
Maybe.
And yeah, it kind of feels like she was always meant to be Kay. She informs it in every way.
I love bringing a character like this to life, and it's an honor, honestly, to be a part of this world. It's definitely a dream come true, and I'm still doing it, so literally like about to hop and do a scene right now. So it's all just exciting, and I feel now I'm really locked into the character. The team is amazing, and I feel very supported, and I'm happy that they found me, because I feel like I was meant to play this role. Make sure to catch me alongside with some developers and cast members at Comic-Con International this July in San Diego.